Hey everybody, welcome to the Monkey Barrel Comedy Chat Show. We have a wonderful guest this week, the wonderful Sikisa.
Hey, that's me.
Welcome in. So for people, most people I'm sure now have watched previous episodes. For yourself and any new first-time viewers, this show is a show where we get all of these wonderful comedians coming to perform Monkey Barrel Comedy. This is the show where we sit down with them, get to know them a little bit better, ask the weird and wonderful questions that you've provided at home, and you should be terrified because it could be anything.
I am. I don't know what's going to happen. There's a screen in front of me. There is questions.
Who's that? Who's this guy?
There's a random white man in the building. I don't know what's going to happen.
So you've had an amazing time. You're like 3-time Leicester Comedy Festival nominee. You're critically
Never won.
acclaimed stand-up. Well, I try to make it seem nice.
It was really funny this year. They made me host the awards, and I was just like, thanks for making me host this awards that I've never won. Thanks.
Hey, you can only win once, but getting nominated, that's keeping your name out there. That's pretty good. So for people who've never seen your stand-up, or your comedy, how would you describe it?
Too much.
That's perfect.
Too much in terms of like energy. I've got way too much energy for my liking. I like to talk about everything. And there's no stopping my madness on stage. Mm-hmm. I do like to interact with audience members, I aka harassing men, and like to break up couples. Never sit in the front row if you're a couple with me. Despite those several videos I've posted on my social media, people just like to sit in the front row, and I'm like, I will fuck up your relationship.
You're putting them out as warnings, like don't sit in that front row, please.
I put out several warnings. However, I will find people. So
yeah. You definitely attacked a second, third, fourth row. Yeah.
We will find you even if you sit in the back.
Too much is a good review, though. I've definitely had people review me and say, not enough. Not enough for me. So something we do on the show to help our guests settle in and also give you fear for the rest of your day is we jump into your social media. We do the social media time machine. We're going to go back to an old post we're going to bring up on screen right now. So for people at home listening, maybe on Instagram, this is you at Glastonbury backstage, and you're with Mel C from the Spice Girls. So what is the story behind this?
So basically, this is on the Sunday of Glastonbury. We're all hungover. It's about 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
I'm going to actually, maybe I lie to you. Maybe it's about 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm very hungover after getting in from partying at Glastonbury, watching some DJs at 5 a.m.
10:30 in the morning after a night of partying might as well be like 3 a.m.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then this car pulls in, because this is the backstage at the cabaret tent. A car pulls in and Mel C pops out and everyone's like, that's a Spice Girl right there. That is a Spice Girl. Yeah. Apparently she was coming into the tent to do like a recording for like a radio show or something. And so there's a point where most people, when they see celebrities, like, do I want to bother them? Do I not want to bother them? Can I bother them? And then I saw certain people, another comedian who was in the tent saw Mel C and literally went straight for her. And I was like, okay, she's the one that's got the shame first, then we can all join in. So I was like, as long as I wasn't the first one who took the picture, I had the shame.
Yeah, I do often see that where there'll be like a celebrity and one person goes, I'm so sorry. And then people just queue up behind like, well, the taboo has been broken now, please. I think that is the best Spice Girl to bump into. Mel C seems like the most chill.
I think Emma also seems the most chill. Emma Bunton.
I've never been able to get a read on Emma Bunton.
Oh, I love a bit of Emma Bunton. I recently went to Mighty Hoopla in January for their weekender, and our husband was in Damage performing, and I was just at the front and he was just giving it all, and I was just like, and then backstage he walked past and touched me and I was just like, I'm never watching again.
So did you get any chat or was it just like, can I take a picture?
What, with Mel C?
With Mel C,
I literally was just like, I love you. What's happening with the Spice Girls? And she was like, can't tell you that. And I was just like, I want to know what's happening. Are they turning up at Glastonbury in 2024? Tell me. I was trying to get so much gossip out of her and it wasn't happening. And then she had to obviously run off because she was just getting bombarded from people.
Of course. Like she turns up at Glastonbury, it's just a million people milling around, just waiting for the first person to ask.
And the funny thing is there's other comedians who are like quite high profile and in the same tent because we all camped behind the tent.
Yeah.
So like Acaster was there, Nish was there. And we all don't give a damn about them because we're all friends more or less from the circuit. But Mel C turns up and was like,
Like, this isn't a work colleague.
Yeah.
This is a famous person.
Can I also just say, seeing Ivor Graham hungover at Glastonbury is the best thing ever. Hilarious.
I mean, I feel like Mel C has spent like 25, 30 years where people just come up and be like, what is the deal with the Spice Girls?
Yeah.
What's happening? Like, I know they broke up, but come on.
Well, there's always the rumours that they're going to be doing what is it called? It's the Shania Twain's doing it this year. It's not the headline spot. It's like
it's like the Sunday Legend
The
spot.
Legend spots, that's the one, thank
yeah.
you. The Legend spots. So there was rumour that they were going to do it this year because apparently it's their 25th anniversary of their album or something. But obviously it's not happened. But maybe we'll have... And obviously Mel B keeps getting herself into trouble with the rest of the Spice Girls.
I would genuinely love if they came out and just announced that they were running for presidency.
You know what? Let's just... If they were running for like Prime Minister...
Yeah.
I'm there.
If they were like, we're going to be the new, just
the
all
cabinet.
the queens, the queens, we're taking over the royal family and there's going to be 5 of us, I'd be like 100% on board with that.
Actually, I don't know about Posh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about
We
Posh.
try, but there's enough to outvote her on everything, which is nice. There's 4 other people there that can be like, shut up.
Yeah. If you're going to bring your husband, then yeah.
Yeah. Your husband's going to sit next to you and then she says something and then he whispers in her ear and she goes, actually, sorry, no. I meant no. I meant the opposite about that. Like he's the person to keep her chill and calm. We also have wonderful questions from our people on social media that have been sent in. So Evelyn sent in a question, which is, what is your most irrational fear?
Irrational. Now, I'm not very good with words, hence why my show is all about the fact I got
So, like, I guess
dyslexic.
being afraid of sharks would be a rational fear, but if you were like, think about it all the time, even when you're on land, that's an irrational fear. Like, it doesn't make sense.
I would then say I have an irrational fear of worms. I have an irrational fear of worms.
That's good. I mean, that's a good irrational fear because I can't do that. I don't even think they have mouths.
Well, I was saying this yesterday to a friend. So in London, and apparently they don't have them up here. On trees, when it comes to spring, there's little worms that come off the tree,
Really?
They look like little maggots, worms, and they just fall from the tree and they land in your hair, and they're very small, but you can see them wiggling.
Yeah.
And I'm very wary of this at springtime, so I don't walk underneath trees. I'm literally rather kill myself in the street. Yeah. I'd rather die in the road than walk underneath a tree. And I was on my way to get the train to come up to Edinburgh. We love Edinburgh. But a man on the train had one in his hair and it was just wiggling. I could just see it like... slightly wiggling, and I was just like, and then she was like, is that one of the little worms? I think, and it was, and I was like, no, do I tell him? Do I not tell him? And then I was like, I'm just gonna get off the train. So I just got off the tube and moved into the next carriage because I don't like them. They give you the little shaky,
that weird shiver down your spine.
And then it's wet, and you see just worms just coming out of the ground. You're just like, nah.
Even when you go to the beach and you see those like weird, you see sand all piled up because there's like horrible worms down in the sand. That's what that is. They've pushed all that. You see like the little mounds of like twizzly sand.
I thought that was crabs.
It's not crabs. It's horrible worms that are down there.
Don't tell me that.
So if you go there and you dig it up, you'll pull up a giant horrible worm. There's people, I saw a video on TikTok where people went along and they sprayed, I guess, water that had like juice in it or something, like maybe lemon juice. And when they taste that, they all come up. So you could come up and they would grab it and pull it out, and they're about that long.
That's disgusting.
That's what's on the beach. I'm sorry to ruin beaches. I've ruined
I got
trees.
to go to Barbados in July. Now I'm going to be thinking about those.
Oh, God. Do you think maybe that guy was in an accident? Like, if you'd sit in that train, would you see him slowly lift up a little leaf for his worm friend?
Just feeding it. Disgusting.
Okay, so we got another question this is from Emma. I don't know if it's Emma Bunton from the Spice Girls, but it could be.
Let's hope.
And this is, describe your perfect day from start to finish.
Okay, so my perfect day from start to finish would be, I would sleep until about 3 o'clock.
That's the comedian's nap.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I don't know if anyone understands how much stuff I do in my life. I do way too much stuff in my life, and I would like to sleep. It would involve some sort of wrestling.
Okay.
Watching probably wrestling live. So wake up, have a lovely, sexy bath.
Yeah. It's a good start to the day.
I think I'm going to rephrase that. Can we edit this? We're going back. I'm going to wake up, have a sexy shower.
Oh.
The bath will come later.
More
have a sexy shower. Go and sit in a park, just so I can just have a cleansing session and watch some people pretend they enjoy running. And then I will go and watch a wrestling event. Ideally, someone would have bought me front row tickets to a wrestling event. Ideally, AEW that's coming in August. Feel free to buy me tickets. Thank you so much.
I'd also like in on that. Please.
Yeah, thank you.
Can we do an AEW? We're all in on that.
All in. That's what we're saying. Will Ospreay, I'm all in. And then after wrestling, go to a bar, which allows me to also not only drink, but I can have a little dance.
Okay, and this is during the daytime or is this later in the day?
This is slightly later in the day.
Okay.
So we're talking like maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
That's around about time they start kind of putting music on.
Yeah, and then I will have a little whippy dessert. Ideally, the apple pie with some whipped cream.
I've never heard someone describe it as a whippy dessert before, but that's perfect.
Whippy dessert. And then I will have a sexy bath. And then we'll go to bed after having a wank. There you go.
Perfect. It's so often people mention that part as well.
We're having a wank.
Podcasts. Yeah, we've asked. One of the questions was like, what did you do before you came here today? I think it was Josh Glance. And Josh was like, had a wank. And I was like, all right, I wish I hadn't shook your hand.
I mean, it's more easy for men to have a wank than it is for women.
I mean,
just the practice, not even like, oh, you have to be in the mood. I'm not talking about that. Like, I don't have to be in the mood. But like, it's more to do with like, men can just whip out their dicks whenever they want to.
As they do. As is their want. We beg them not to.
Yeah, please stop doing that.
Please,
Hashtag me too.
Please stop. But they
keep that to yourself.
Did you say meat too? Okay. Well, thank you, Emma. I think we've very clearly answered that question for you. We also have questions from our previous guest, which was the wonderful Stuart Laws.
Oh Lord.
So we've got a video clip here.
Oh
Stuart.
No.
Okay, Sikisa, there's some serious questions I need to ask you. Number one, where would you least like a horse to be? Second question, should wrestling be a national service sort of deal? So like at 21, you've got to do a year of wrestling. Third question, what's the biggest pig you can imagine? And don't be a fucking idiot about it.
Why did you get Stuart Laws to ask me the questions? I'm not answering any of those questions. Why is he my director? This is what I had to deal with for a year with my show.
Just these random questions.
Yeah.
Just you're trying to do a show and it's like, what if you talked about a giant pig? No, Stuart, I don't want to. So Stuart's first question was, where would you least like a horse to be? Where's the most upsetting place that you would find a horse?
Okay,
maybe in your bath. You come home for your sexy bath. You're like, why is there a horse in there?
No, I'm gonna say a plane, so I could just do the Samuel L. Jackson line. Why are these motherfucking horses on this motherfucking plane?
Are you seeing the horse like as you get on the plane, or is it like mid-flight? You see the first class curtain move, and you're like, is that a horse?
Yeah, just sitting. That's where I want the horse in first class.
Yeah.
And I'm like, excuse me, why is this motherfucking horse in first class? Why did I not get an upgrade? Okay.
You're like, oh, can I get peanuts? Oh, we don't have any. And then the curtain moves, and you just see someone feeding a bag of peanuts to this horse.
Dusty horse.
Do you have any like for horses like growing up? Sometimes some people just love horses growing up.
You do know I'm black, right? Like I'm black from South London. We do not associate with anything.
Well, I mean, because I'm Irish, so horses just I've grown up seeing horses in urban areas and like in housing estates and in tower buildings. Like that is a big thing in Ireland. Is just I've seen horses in a kitchen.
What happened to cars? They just like...
We have cars, but there's just, it became a thing in the 80s where, a certain Irish people would just be like, what if we just had a horse? We can't take care of it, but what if we just had a horse? and
No, but the thing is, the horse is just going to poo everywhere.
Oh yeah, oh they do.
Yeah.
I've walking through Dublin city centre and been sworn at by just teens on a horse. Like they just did a drive by, like, you look stupid, and then they ride off on a horse, and you're like, you can't.
And then they
really
leave all the poo behind, and you're like, who's gonna clean that up?
Oh yeah, that becomes a. That's not an issue for them they've ever worried about. They don't even have saddles on the horses. Like, these horses are just, but I will say, like,
These are hood rat horses.
Irish horses are like tough horses as well. Like, if there was a house fire and the horse was in the house, that horse would get out.
No,
Everyone else in the house.
I can imagine the Irish horse being quite tough. Just being like,
they've got a look in their eyes like there's nothing you can do.
instead of, if someone gave them water, you'd be like, where's my Guinness? Like,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind.
and if their head is too big, they'll be like, can you redo that Guinness, please?
There's no doubt in my mind someone has fed Guinness to a horse in Ireland. There's no doubt. That's absolutely happened.
Yeah.
Okay. But like, that's a weird thing. I remember sitting on a bus and I looking out the window, there's just a horse there, just a guy on a horse. And they never look like people that are comfortable on a horse either. It's always like they don't know what the horse is going to do.
What's the oldest person that you've seen on a horse?
Probably like 60s. Like, I've seen 60-year-olds, but it's not a person on a horse. It's a horse wearing a person. Okay, so question number 2 from Stuart was a what-if question, which links back in. Should wrestling be a national service? Like, when you get to 20 years of age, you should do like a year of wrestling.
Yes, just so you can know how to do a roly-poly properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started wrestling training at the beginning of the year and I regret it so
really?
much. I'm halfway through my life. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
I pulled my back the other day waking up. Why am I going to wrestling training? I've got a bruise on my leg that's been there for 8 weeks.
It's incredibly painful. Like, I did wrestling training for like in Ireland. They have a group there that did it, and I was like early 20s, and I was like, God, this is painful. The first bump I took, I was like, this is sore.
Yeah.
This is what they do. I thought this was going to be fun.
Yeah.
Like, it hurts.
It is not fun. I took a day, the first session we had, I took a day off work the next day.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't move. It was, I think my body went into shock and also went, why the fuck are you doing this to us? This is not what you wanted.
Even the crouching down and then straighten your back so you do the flat, even that just took so long. And then I went back the next time, I was like, I've forgotten everything. And it was like 3 days later.
I also then purchased like a gymnastics mat to fit in my very small council flat estate in South London, just so I could properly learn how to do roly-polies in my house and practice. This is how far we've got with the wrestling. So hard. But everyone should do it. I think if I'd done it when I was younger, it would have been easier. So yes, I would agree. Everyone should do it.
I remember, like, I was like, oh, I like comedy, but I also like wrestling. Like, and there's similarities between the two. Like, I know in Ireland especially, there was a lot of wrestlers that became comedians, which was a weird thing, and then there was some comedians that went off and became wrestlers. Like, I can see the dynamic between the two, but there's something nice. You don't get to really be a bad guy heel comedian.
There are some.
I mean, there are some, but
they might appear on a certain news channel. I'm joking. I'm kidding.
Please don't say any curse words here. But yeah, I mean, there's very few that are like have that like persona. I mean, I guess Frankie Boyle kind of has that.
Yeah, I think when people are miserable, no, maybe not. I think Frankie Boyle is lovable.
Yeah,
he's lovable. Like, because
he's like a heel wrestler that you like. He's an MJF. He's exactly
He's
that.
a Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, where you're like, I hate your character, but I love the work you're doing as that character.
He's The Rock.
Yeah.
He's the new incarnation of the final boss, aka The Rock.
The Rock. Well, speaking of wrestling, did you see WrestleMania?
Of course I watched WrestleMania. Of course.
How great was that?
Oh, epic. Oh, the Avengers Endgame ending was great.
It really was.
Epic. Stayed up 2 nights for it. I was so tired by the time it finished. But
I don't like the 2 nights thing.
Just you don't like 2 nights?
I don't like the 2 nights too much.
I remember staying up because I stay up and watch wrestling quite a lot. So I remember staying up the 2019 or 2020. No, it's 2019 pay-per-view for WrestleMania, and it was 7 hours.
That's right. I forgot about that. That was the year.
It was 7 hours, and I was like, "This is too much." Okay, we either gonna have to fire some people, or you're gonna have to do something about this.
All these matches don't need to be in here.
No. So when it came to nights, I kind of was relieved. And both nights this year was great. But there's some amazing highlights. The Rock was an interesting choice, but money.
I mean, it was an interesting choice. I was like, oh, cool, The Rock. And then he started tweeting stuff, and I was like, is he heel in real life as well? What is this that he's doing?
But we have got a new era. It's the Triple H era.
Yeah.
Paul Levesque era. We have to embrace that. And
Definitely. And this is the first time, like, I feel like in the past when you would watch wrestling, there would be a certain point where looking back on it, you'd go, oh, that was the beginning of the Attitude Era, or that was the beginning of what was called the Ruthless Aggression Era. This was the first time where they were calling it an audible as it was happening. Like, this is the
new era.
start. And you could tell.
Yeah.
I do wish that Paul, what's his name? Logan Paul?
Logan Paul.
I wish Logan Paul hadn't won.
I knew he was winning. The reason why I knew he was winning, because SummerSlam is in his hometown.
Of course.
He's going to walk in with that belt. But that match was great. Regardless of how people feel about Logan Paul, he
does a good job.
He's an amazing wrestler. You have to give him credit for that.
I have to give him credit for that.
That frog star that he did was epic. My man touched his toes.
Yeah, it's very annoying because you go, God, that was really good, but I hate you as a person.
Damn it. Why is he going to be such a twat? Damn it.
I mean, they can never turn him a good guy, which in wrestling is called face. They can never turn him face. He's just going to be heel for life. He's just the Miz.
Oh, well, it's interesting because we're obviously moving into a new era, and I was saying this to a friend that a lot of my favorite wrestlers who are still in WWE are probably going to be retiring in a few years' time. So AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, like, going to be retiring. I'm like, no, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. But
retiring for 6 months, then going to AEW. One of the
AKA Copeland. Adam Copeland. We see you.
Ewan, do you watch wrestling at all?
No, I don't actually.
No, you don't? So this is exactly what it felt like. We had guests on talking about Formula One and rugby, and I had no concept what you were talking about. So it's payback, baby.
Although recently, on Friday nights, obviously we finish the big shows around, like, I get done about 11:30.
Yeah.
And the wrestling, I think, is on at
AEW.
It could be any. I think it's
ITV.
No, it's on Sky Sports. I think it's WWE.
Probably SmackDown.
It's SmackDown.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I've been getting into it a little bit on a Friday night after work, but I watched all the clips from WrestleMania.
Oh, wow.
And it was like mainly the Prime bottle. The Prime
Did you know who he was?
I was going to ask, what did you think of that?
No. Oh, yeah, I did.
Did you know who he was?
I knew he was, and I hated that even more because he's...
Speed.
Because I do a podcast, and there's 5 of us in total on the podcast, and 3 of us we say millennials, and the other 2 are like younger than us. They're Gen Zs, fuck them. And as soon as... Because it was like, who's going to be in the Pro Bowl? And the person revealed himself, and 3 us millennials were like, the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And the guys were like, we were just like, I have no idea who this guy is.
Yeah.
And they described who he was to us. Apparently he just barks and makes noises.
He's a very weird guy. I think he started doing like streaming on Twitch.
Yes.
I think so he started, and then he kind of...
He got banned briefly because he stood up very quickly and his cock fell out of his pants. Wearing such loose boxers, and what's very funny is you're like, that's an embarrassing thing, could happen, and then somebody in chat just messaged and just said like, how did it feel when that happened? And he like was like, how do you think I feel? Everyone saw. And it's like, this is your freak out moment. All the awful things he's done.
I think that Prime bottle thing,
flipped the table, freaked out.
I think that was him signing for Prime. That was the launch of it, from what I can figure out.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Prime's going to be on all the pay-per-view now, which I find is annoying.
I thought it was just WrestleMania.
No, it's all the pay-per-views now, and I'm very annoyed.
They've got all the football teams as well, like Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Arsenal they sponsor.
Yeah.
So when I started wrestling training, literally half the people, so it's me and 9 other lads, and half of them were drinking Prime.
Wow.
I was like, of course you fuck it up.
Yeah.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But you see that in Ireland, every fucking guy in Ireland looks like Paul Mescal now. They all have Paul Mescal's mullet haircut and his weird mustache. And I was like, and it's weird for me because I look at it and I go like, as a millennial, I go like, that's what sex offenders used to look like. How have you mix this up? That would be a picture on a newspaper saying, man rides horse, not the way you think, and then arrested.
What's to say with Vince McMahon when he grew that moustache recently?
Oh my God.
What a time to grow it out of all the time you've been living.
To tell us. Just so you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes people's face shows you who they are, whether they like it or not. Fantastic. Okay, and then the final question from Stuart was, what is the biggest pig you can imagine? Okay.
The biggest pig.
The biggest pig you can imagine.
Well, of course you can imagine a big pig. That question makes no sense, Stuart Laws. I can imagine a big pig. There you go. I've imagined. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I've imagined the big pig. There you go.
You can imagine a big pig.
Yes, I can imagine.
How big is that pig, though?
It's massive.
It's huge?
It's probably as big as this room.
That's the same size of pig I was imagining. I was imagining a pig around about the size of this room, but like its legs are like halfway up off the floor and its head is like way up the top. Like it's just...
I was imagining it upside down, just doing this.
Yeah. But is its head a giant head or is it the normal size? Like is the body just big but the head is the same size of a pig?
So the body is massive, but the head is like a quarter of the size.
That's what I was That's exactly what I was expecting. Like we can't even hear the oinks. It's so high up. Yeah.
You can hear the farts, but you can't hear the oinks.
Oh, wow. Okay. We found out so much good stuff today. Talked about wrestling, found out about your perfect day, got to talk about Mel C. Is there any gigs or any events, things coming up this year doing Fringe, I'm sure? Do you want to tell people about?
Yeah, sure. I'm just currently on my tour. As we were recording, my tour in Monkey Barrel is today at 9:00. Shame you missed it. But I'm doing the rest of it in Manchester, Bristol, Macfest, Brighton. So if you're around any of those places, come and see me. And then I'll be up for the Edinburgh for 2 weeks. I will be doing a small little whip, a little work in progress at Monkey Barrel because it's one of my favourite venues for 3 days from the 12th to the 14th. So come and see it. I think tickets are only £8. It's cheap. Or it's pay what you want. Or it's free.
And if people want to follow you on social media, what's your username on there?
So it's Sikisa Comedy, or if you type in Twix Comedy, as in Twix like the chocolate, yes, it will pop up. Don't ask, it's not because I'm black. So if you type in Twix Comedy, it will pop up on my Instagram. My social media is, in terms of everything else, TikTok, X. What's the other one? Twitwell?
Oh, TikTok?
No, not TikTok.
Or Threads.
Threads, that's the one. Threads.
Tweed is a good fake name for Threads. But that's the one that like Jeremy Clarkson's go on.
Yeah.
they're on the Tweed one. Okay.
Tweed? Threads, it's Sikisa Comedy. But yeah, follow me on Instagram. And I'm always on Instagram. I'm taking always lovely, sexy pictures.
Perfect.
And non-sexy pictures. Mostly
I'm sure, hopefully, later in the year, posting pictures from AEW All In London. And if anyone can sort that out...
I mean, it's obviously the last day of Fringe.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to give me a ticket, hello, baby, how are you?
I mean, friend of Monkey Barrel Comedy, Colt Cabana, help us out, Colt.
Come on.
Come on, Colt, help us out.
I want to
go. We want to go, Colt.
I didn't go last year. I want to go this year because I feel like it's going to be...
I was saving it.
I feel like it's going to be Swerve versus Will Ospreay for the title.
Oh, well.
I've called it.
Now make that happen. Make it happen, Colt. Make it happen. Fantastic. Well, if you enjoyed that, please follow on our social media. Follow, grow the show, help us out. Thanks for watching this week again. Big thanks to you behind the camera. Big thanks to Sikisa. Big thanks from me. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah.
Swerve test.
Swerve. Yeah, you did it.
There's something hiding under the ice. Imitation of a sound. There's something standing behind the door. Would you like to know